Durag Wisdom here, folks, and welcome to Earth Day Y2K 18.08.28. Just 70 days to the midterms. I just want to make a disclaimer here that what I'm about to do is make up a whole coalition. So when I say I'm holding a list in my hand of names, or I'm donating to a coalition of some kind, this is something that I made up in my imagination. So please be aware of that. It's just wishful thinking. And also this broadcast is in honor of memory. I didn't agree with the guy, but in honor of the memory of Senator John McCain, heroic war veteran. For the conservative side, I've made up something I call the McCain Coalition. I hold in my hands a list. Not literally, but symbolically. A list of suspected factual conservatives who truly understand the meaning of the word. A word that does not include snooping into people's bedroom to see how they're having sex, or prying into a woman's physical body to decide what she is supposed to do with it. The word conservative, ladies and gentlemen, means many things to the Trumpists. But to those on the list I hold in my hands, it means something totally different and has nothing to do with what you are allowed to read or with how you are allowed to have sex. The people on my list have a conservative economic political view about, among other things, the role of the federal government in our lives. I do not agree with conservatism. As much as I will always respect Senator John McCain for his service to our country, for example, I can never agree to his conservative ideas or his hawkish stance regarding war. But if he had become president, minus the teabagger Sarah Palin, I foresee that we would have not been that bad off in spite of his conservatism. For John McCain would have respected the constitutional rule of law. I also believe that most of the people on the list that I hold, there it is, see it, want all of us to now vote Democratic this November to save our constitutional democratic republic, and also to a lesser extent to save our two-party system. In other words, according to the list of the people whose names I now hold in my hand, we should vote Democratic this November to also save the Republican Party. Anyone who has viewed my broadcasts know my odd political beliefs. They also know, hopefully, that I am vehemently against any form of totalitarianism, be it spawned from the left or spawned from the right sides of the political spectrum. I want to continue living in a free, open, and unwalled country that embraces its old as well as its new citizens. That is the so-called beacon on the hill, beckoning all welcome. I understand that we are not as yet considered a democracy in the true sense of the word, but we are evolving, ladies and gentlemen. And so far, our constitutional three-branch governance has succeeded with improvements on the way, hopefully. So I want what little democracy we have left, now under attack by the greedy rich and their corporations. They've always and always will. The capitalists, the extremist capitalists, will always attack true democracy. We need two parties at least in our two-party democratic constitutional republic. Parties who oppose each other between conservative and liberal economic systems so that people have a choice. That choice has been eliminated by the teabagger Trumpist traitor party. It has destroyed the GOP as Lincoln, Roosevelt, Taft, and Eisenhower knew it. What we have now is a totalitarian traitor party on a sure and straight path to make of our USA something other than the founders, flawed too as they were, wanted. The conservative people whose names appear on the list that I now hold in my hand know this, and they have called on all of us to vote our guts out in 70 days, democratic, so that we can save our constitutional republic and preserve for now our two-party system. I hold in my hands a list of names of members of the GOP, alive and well, now in exile. Individuals who have pledged, in my imagination, to wage an underground resistance against nefarious forces who have usurped their grand old Lincoln Party. They met together in secret, in my imagination, in some kind of underground or above ground, remote place. And they took a blood oath to stand by the principles their party is supposed to represent. They chose to name their group after a hero named Senator John McCain, a war veteran who heroically served his country, but that left him physically, but not emotionally, damaged for life. He was tortured for 5.5 years at the Hanoi Hilton. Don birther, bastard, traitor, coward Trump was getting herpes or syphilis or whatever he was. My mind is way too small to understand what this war veteran, Senator McCain, experienced. But it must have been like my father's, who also was in the blood mist of battle. And McCain's was worse because my father was not captured. And now I am outraged by the behavior of the so-called commander-in-chief, who's done nothing but insult the memory of war veteran John McCain. And to me, he's insulting the memories of all veterans, alive and dead, who fought bravely for their country. And in the old days, they were drafted. People who never killed anything in their life were drafted to kill the enemy. Well, birther bastard was partying it up at Studio 69. It hurts how much this birther creep beat on this heroic war veteran McCain, how he assaulted him. I will never, ever forgive this creep for many things, and that I will never forgive him for. Today was the day that the people whose names appear on this list that I hold in my hand had enough with this traitorous bullshit. The traitorous bullshit of the Trumpists headed by their evil clown. And the refusal of the traitor-in-chief to first fly the flag at half-mast, then not fly the flag at half-mast, then forced to do so again at half-mast in honor of a dead American hero. Should have been no problem, but everything's about that creep, isn't it? Each and every name on this list has now pledged to purge our country of Trumpist treason forever, even if it means their own destruction. They have chosen to form a new political faction outside and even right within the Trumpist Party itself, in my imagination. These heroic GOP economic conservatives are calling themselves the McCain Coalition, and their honorable names are now listed: Steve Schmidt, Nicole Wallace, Max Boot, Jennifer Rubin, Richard Painter, Jeff Flake, George Will, John Kasich, Michael Steele, Colin Powell, G.W. Bush, with all his faults, Jeb Bush, with all his faults, David Jolly, Rick Wilson, and John Meacham. The list will grow in the drive to eliminate the Trumpist scourge from the besieged GOP, and then to revive it as we once knew it. I will support any and all progressive causes, as I already do, with monthly donations taken directly from my fixed income. I will also donate to the McCain coalition in my limited imagination. Out of respect for whatever democracy we have left, in respect for our two-party system where every citizen has the right to choose, and in honor of a war veteran, a true hero, Senator John McCain, whose boots Trader Trump will never be fit to shine.